What's up, YouTube? I've got two The Force Awakens fonts on my Force Awakens graflex. Don't mind the lack of a red button. I'm waiting on one to replace the anodized aluminum one. Originally I had my switch here and I moved it to up here, so playing around with it a little bit. But anyway, there's actually quite a few fonts, I think, for The Force Awakens if you go that route. I know that Shamim makes one, and LordBlako makes one, and now Novastar makes one as well. And so there's three options there, not counting all the other various graflex fonts from kind of previous versions. But just talking about The Force Awakens, I've got the LordBlako font and the new Novastar font loaded up onto this, and I've kind of played around with them a little bit side by side. This is on a nano biscotte version 3. I think both of them are kind of made more for like the crystal focus, or just kind of the higher end plectar lab boards that use a lot more of the sound files, I guess. And so you end up, if you have a nano biscotte, you can really play around with fonts by renaming the swings and the clashes, because I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I know that there's a limited amount of clash and swing sounds, and you can just rename the numbers if you like one more than another. So I haven't even begun to really go through and do that. I have done that with my episode 5 font that was also from Novastar to kind of customize it. But anyway, they're both about equal in regards to just coming with a ton of extra sound fonts. So the only thing that's really modified on this is the boot sound from LordBlako's font. I've modified it because the original one is Maz talking about stuff for like 5 seconds, and it's just too long of a boot sound for me. So I had a custom font made, or a custom sound made, that's actually more similar to the boot sound on LordBlako's Kylo Ren Saber font. So anyway, I'm honestly not sure which one is going to boot up. Okay, so this is the Novastar font. I really like that boot sound, just because it's really simple. I'm not huge on voice boot sounds, that's just a personal preference, but it still very much indicates that it's The Force Awakens. It's short, it's sweet, it gets to the point. I really, really like it. So I'm going to do my best to try and, I'm just using my phone, and so I'm going to do my best to kind of position this in a way that will give you guys the best sound. One thing that's kind of a minor gripe about using the Night chassis is the speakers all the way up here, and the vents are all the way down here, and they're kind of tiny as it is. So I'm kind of unimpressed with the sound on this, but it's also my fault because I used a premium speaker instead of a bass speaker, without kind of thinking that The Force Awakens, everything is just like modern 2016 bassy extreme, or I guess it actually came out in 15, but anyway, it's booted up. So you got your ignition sound, you've got your hum. The first thing I really noticed about the Novastar font in comparison to the Blako font, the idle. I don't know, the hum idle just seems more prominent, more pronounced. And I'm sure that would be even more so if you were using a bass speaker, but I really like it. That was kind of, I guess, the first thing I noticed aside from the boot sound. So you've got your idle. A lot of the typical really just bassy, aggressive swing sounds. I really like the clash sounds, but yeah, so far, I mean, like I said, I love this font. It's very similar to the Blako font, as you'll hear. It's got almost the exact same deactivation.
There's been an awakening.
So there's my custom boot. So there's the Blako font. So it's very, very similar. For me, the hum is a lot less dynamic, I guess, is my big thing. Again, very, very bassy swings. There's one sound I really, really like on the Blako one. I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost that like deflector, high-pitched sound. I really like that just little tidbit, and then deactivates. So, like I said, they're very, very similar. I mean, I guess that's something you're probably going to find with film-based fonts, is that obviously if they're taking it from the film, they're going to sound very similar. So the nice thing about the Nano Biscotte is I can have 2 font banks, so you don't have to pick, even with the cheapest board. You don't have to choose which one, but both of them are really, really awesome. And I think at some point I'm going to go through and really kind of handpick the sounds that I like from the other files and kind of customize it and just make it more how I want. Ultimately, to me, kind of the Bespin dual, that's what a graflex sounds like to me. So kind of the closer I can get to that, but with kind of that new age bassy, the Force Awakens sound would be perfect. Like I said, huge regret not going with the bass speaker on this, because I think it would really, really sound great. I don't think it would be easy to switch at this point. I might actually look into it, because I don't want to say the speaker wasn't too hard to deal with in the chassis as far as the wires. I think they were fairly accessible, so if that's something I can swap out, I might do it. But I would recommend, I'm not big on the bass speakers just because I've had a couple duds, but I think it's worth it. Although kind of my thought process was, if you can't swap it out easily on this chassis, then you don't want to go with anything that's got a reliability issue, because reliability is going to be a little more key than the sound quality, I guess, taking that little bit of a dive. So anyway, that's kind of just a brief, well, not really that brief, comparison between the 2 fonts. Hopefully that actually translates well to recording on my phone. I really wish I had a better method of showing a comparison, but I guess the end final closing statement would be that they're very, very similar. You really can't go wrong with either one. Both of the guys that make them are awesome. Supporting both of them would be great. So I guess my recommendation would be buy both and just have 2 fonts on there, and then you've kind of got the best of the best, and you can customize each of them to maybe a different sound. You can maybe go with the Finn battle, that's a little more bassy because he's smacking the electro baton thing. Then you could also have the Woods battle that's a little less bassy. So options are always good. Check out both of them. I know actually both of them you have to message them either on Facebook or email, and I'll put a link in the description. I know at some point both of them should have their fonts up on soundfont.com, but you can always just message them and PayPal them directly and do it that way. So yeah, I'll make sure I post links, and thanks for watching.